of the subjects of our conversation was data. In fact, we are using India as a global data hub. So in Bangalore, we've got now a capability which supports our data practice in the US and in Europe and in Asia, a very sophisticated one. And that's the first step to harnessing its power also in India. So it was conceived of as a global capability, but it's in India, and it should also have a benefit here on the business in India. So data is our access into consulting. Now, advertising agencies have always found it difficult to turn themselves into consulting practices, and the reason is they don't fundamentally have access to data. So data lies with direct marketing companies and with media companies. Now, we have access to both sources of data, and as a result, our consulting business has grown and expanded. This is something that I really passionately believe in. We are actively considering how to deploy that recipe here in India, at least the consulting part of it very much. Now, we are fortunate because within WPP we have access to media data, so we can have the best of both worlds. It's not actually. I mean, Carla was a very early embracer of digital, but more than anything else, she's a great business woman and someone who really understands the dynamics of business. So digital is a small part of it, but actually fundamentally it's about helping clients in the intersection between their business issues and their communication issues. So again, one of the issues that consulting companies face, management consulting companies in particular, is that they can get so far down, but when it comes to making their recommendations usable, it's actually quite tricky for them. So there's a kind of grey area where historically agencies haven't competed, where management consultancies don't compete very well, and where clients are actually unsatisfied. So that's the area that we're hoping to get into. We're certainly not purporting to be a McKinsey or a Bain or anything like that, but there is something that they don't do very well, which we believe we can do better. So we find that the consulting market here hasn't quite developed yet, and we're watching and waiting and biding our time. It will happen, definitely. Actually, it's going better than I honestly ever anticipated. I mean, I thought it would be of interest to clients, but I've in a way been surprised by the traction it's got. So it's now working on exactly what we hoped it would work on, which is the relationship again between sustainability and business issues. And in particular, how is sustainability communicated? So we've had a very good take up from existing clients like Coca-Cola, Unilever, others, but also we're going outside the client base now a bit. So it's present in the US, in the UK. I would say in Asia it's a little bit slower, which is what you'd expect. But we've got a capability in Singapore. I'm very keen to develop in China and in India, and I think the big change here for me recently is the growing awareness of environmental issues as something that's not just a sort of luxury to worry about, but something that's quite fundamental to society. So I hope that we'll be able to do something here. India is a television market, and television, in a way, artificially represses the other communication disciplines in the market. Now, this is not abnormal. So if you went to Brazil, you'd find exactly the same situation. Very powerful television market and relatively underdeveloped disciplines such as public relations and direct marketing. So I feel that, for instance, those businesses aren't as strong as they are compared, for example, to our businesses in China, where television is less all-powerful. But in the case of Ogilvy One in particular, just because it's fresh in my mind having been to a meeting, the real opportunity is in a number of key digital battlegrounds. Now, Ogilvy One doesn't own digital. In our model, we want everything to be digital. But there are a number of key battlegrounds for Ogilvy One, and performance marketing is one, e-commerce is another, and so on. We have to be geared to take advantage of those shifts in the digital landscape, and that means seeing digital not as a tactic, but as something that's really strategic and is integrated into a client's business model. Now, that's not here yet. I think digital is still seen as the prerogative of Tom Digital around the corner, and it's a production-based model. actually of digital. But we see that changing very quickly, and we want to be geared to take advantage of that.